All right. Hi, class. So today we're going to continue from last week, and we're going to talk about the key two, which is the problem. The first key was the purpose. So again, we're looking at the keys of a visionary business, and this is ultimately to help you come up with your business idea for your term project this semester. And just to kind of reiterate where we left off, the ultimate purpose of a visionary business is to transform the world by doing what you love to do. And that's kind of like just a reminder of where we left off on the key one from last week. So the keys of a visionary business, again, key one was purpose. So that was I wanted you to imagine your ideal life, to kind of discover your higher purpose, and to, you know, get an idea of your passion, what your passion might be. So key two again is problem, and we want to look at this week, what problems do you want to solve? So not what you want to be, not what you want to do per se, but what problems do you want to solve? And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So that brings me to which door to walk in. So there's several ways you can approach uh, this idea generation, or coming up with your idea, or entering into the market. One is problem. What problem do you want to solve? So problem identification and providing an innovative solution is one way. Passion is another way. What are you good at? What are you not necessarily good at, but what do you like to do? What is your passion? Talent is looking at your skill set, your resources. What skill set have you built through your experiences? And then there's opportunity, and we talked about that in the last module, looking at the gaps and the opportunities in the market to enter in that way. And there's no best way to enter. So a good entrepreneur would look at all four paths or all four doors and try to approach it from that perspective. So they would look at the problem, passion, talent, and opportunity to kind of come up with a good idea or a good product or service to provide to the market that they're going after. So here's a few quotes. So turn your desires into intentions, turn your obstacles and problems into opportunities. For every adversity, there is an equal or greater opportunity. And it just goes back to that, to changing the paradigm of thinking and looking at a problem as an opportunity. For every problem, there is the solution. And that's the very essence of what entrepreneurship is. So you can find that in The Visionary Business and Entrepreneur's Guide to Success, and that's by Mark Allen. So take some time out to take a look at that. It has a lot of good resources that you can use in this stage of coming up with a business plan and a business idea. And then here's one from Dr. Seuss. If you don't know where you're going, then any road will do. And that just speaks to having a plan, having something in place, having a strategy, thinking with the end in mind, and just having the mindfulness to do environmental scanning and figure out where you are, where you want to go, how you're going to get there, and the measures of success that you want to reach as far as your business is concerned. So the current topic for this week, the questions of the day. One, what's your favorite product or service? And please, no cell phones, no iPhones, Androids. Try to think outside of the box and look at something that you use, a product or service that you use a lot. And then once you get that favorite product or service, I want you to look at what problem does the product or service solve. And that's just going back to that mindfulness and going back to that entrepreneurial mindset, the growth mindset that we talked about, and being able to approach it from that point of view. And you should have seen a theme in your last assignment when you looked at those 10 entrepreneurs. You should have seen a theme that each entrepreneur was solving a problem with their service or their business. Another question to think about is, how are entrepreneurial problems identified? And that just goes back to the themes that we talked about last week. They're identified through your experiences, just living, what you might have seen in your life, and how that can be applicable to other people that might be in similar situations or have similar experiences. Also, your intellectual curiosity, just being curious and asking those questions, can lead to problem solving and innovative solutions. Passions, of course, that purpose that goes back to the key one, finding that purpose and that passion and having that resilience, and of course, opportunities and what's needed, the necessity driven entrepreneur. And this is another tool to kind of help you in the idea generation stage. You have remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create from the Bloom's taxonomy. So take a look at that. The bottom layer is remember. So this is where you recall the facts and basic concepts. And you're going to use verbiage like define, duplicate, list, memorize. Once you remember and you have the information, you want to understand it. So you want to put that in a digestible format where you can understand, so that way you can explain your ideas and concepts. The next level is application. So once you have an understanding of the information, you want to apply it. And this is where you implement and you actually demonstrate what you learn. Then there's the analyzing stage where you come up with this analyzing strategy where you draw connections among ideas and you look at different correlations and kind of do an assessment. Next, you have the evaluation stage, and this is where you justify and stand on a decision. So this is where you kind of looking at the decision making. You look at the feedback and you evaluate yourself and figure out what you're doing good, what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, and then you can adjust and modify your plan according to your evaluation. And the last stage is creativity, the creation stage, and this is at the top of the pyramid. This is where you produce new or original work, and it can happen in the beginning of the business where you have those innovative solutions, or it can happen later on in the business cycle where you need to expand or grow your business to keep that sustainability and the competitive advantage that you built up over the duration of your endeavor of your business or your service. And another way to look at this, a metaphor, is looking at the balcony or the dance floor. So from the balcony, you can get a macro view of what's going on the dance floor, so you can see things that you might not see while you're on the dance floor. So you have to be able to go in and out and be able to look at the system that you're operating in while simultaneously being in that system. So it's just a metaphor for diagnosing a system and your place in it. So from the balcony, again, you can see patterns not evident when you're on the floor, caught up in the dance. So that's kind of like the metaphor. And going on the balcony requires that you observe the system you're a part of and kind of detach yourself and be able to evaluate from an objective standpoint. So you want to be able to move back and forth, outside in on the system, and moving inside out on analyzing yourself at the same time. And this is a assignment that you can kind of look at to make sure you understand the concepts of Bloom's taxonomy. And it uses the pyramid and goes from 1 to 6. And number 6, you're actually creating or recreating the story and actually walking through the Bloom's taxonomy. So take care of that in your spare time. And today's takeaways or this week's takeaways, don't ask kids what they want to be when they grow up, but what problems do they want to solve. So this kind of changes the conversation from who do I want to work for to what do I need to learn to be able to do that. So basically you can give somebody fish or you can teach them how to fish. Teaching them how to fish is like that transformational leadership, being a change agent. And that's what an entrepreneur is all about. So you want to kind of, figure out what you need to learn to be able to do what you want to do, basically. So if you have any questions about anything that we cover in this module, just give me a call, shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to sit down and discuss, even have a Zoom call to help you, better understand and get some more clarity with some of the concepts we discussed in this module this week. All right, so have a great day, and I'll see you next module.